Ugh, we're already off to a great start. Microphone fucking up. Oh my god. Anyway, ugh, I need a drink. So recently I started getting into gin, and I came up with this really neat drink called the Candy Dandy. I know I'm vain like that. It's an ounce and a half of strawberry gin to half an ounce of sour cherry pucker and a splash of grenadine over 7 Up. It's actually really good. It's got a nice citric kick on the front with a cherry body and a strawberry finish. It's really smooth, really nice, just the right amount of sweet. All right, what the fuck were we talking about again? Let's get down to business. Hey, it's your dandy, Candy. And today we're talking about modern art. This video was actually inspired while I was perusing the social medias, as one does. No, I'm not going to give out my ads. And it doesn't really matter which one either, because they're on pretty much all of the social medias. Some random content farm account posting videos of some weird looking interpretive art performance or some funky looking abstract piece and then saying, "This is modern art." And of course the replies to it are usually an ocean of stuff like, "My child could paint that," or "I could paint that," as well as the usual weirdos claiming random shit like how it's all a government psyop created by the CIA, and of course blaming whatever popular group there is to blame for the degradation of society in general and how we're all doomed because of it. Usually accompanied by some painting that they feel is a better example of good art from before the modern art era ruined everything. Now this topic has been going on for ages and actually predates social media by quite a bit. But it's always one of those subjects that as an artist, you tend to just put on the back burner because, well, everyone's a critic. But I figure why not talk about it, since a lot of these accounts are delivering an inaccurate portrayal of what modern art actually is. Now, before we get started, I just want to preface this by saying that I am by no means an art historian, art teacher, or art expert. I am just an artist with an interest. And this is going to be a cursory glance into the modern art period, as we would be here all day if we really wanted to go down that rabbit hole. So with that out of the way, let's commence. Modern art is a term used to describe the time period of art from the 1860s to the 1970s that came about as a result of the Enlightenment period. Modern art's foundations were based in Romanticism, Realism, and Impressionism, and it was responsible for the emergence of Post-Impressionism, Symbolism, Fauvism, Cubism, Expressionism, Futurism, Surrealism, and Dada. Modern art was a direct response to the academic art period, which had basically institutionalized the art world from the mid-16th century up until the early 20th century, with its very restrictive and dogmatic adherence to an in-house style, with heavy focus on uniform aesthetics, completely devoid of individuality or originality. Its subjects were often considered idealistic, with flattering portraits of the wealthy class and royals, historically inaccurate depictions of famous military battles, and glorified religious iconography, as its main patrons were, of course, the wealthy, the royals, the state, and the church, and was often used as both a status symbol as well as propaganda to keep the masses in line. Up until the Enlightenment period, that was all you had as art, or official art anyway, as the academics basically dictated what was and wasn't considered art, which we kind of went over in our Dada video previously. Modern art looked to make art that expressed the individual and their own interests rather than whatever the academics and elitists wanted. Whether that be vividly colored landscapes or a pot of flowers, people having a picnic, depictions of ordinary life, a cheeky nude being naughty, or the horrors of war. That escalated quickly. The possibilities of subject matter and the styles in which to express it was wide open thanks to the modern art period. And funnily enough, a lot of those paintings that you oftentimes see posted in the modern art threads where they're like, "This looks so much better, modern art ruined everything," are actually from the modern art time period. And isn't it ironic? Don't you think? To say anything that is made nowadays is classified as modern art is historically inaccurate. And I know that boils down to semantics, the same way that people refer to anybody over the age of 35 that's tech illiterate to be a boomer, even though they're not actually from the baby boomer generation. But Time periods in art are very much important for detailing the changing culture and styles of that time. But Candy, you may be asking, if that's modern art, then what is all that weird stuff that people are always posting in those threads? Well, that, my dear Sugar Plums, is what we call contemporary art, which is an art period that started in the 1940s and is the current one we're in right now. And contemporary art is pure chaos. Pure, whimsical, deliciously magnificent, horrifyingly glorious chaos. That is the best way to describe contemporary art, as the one thing that truly defines contemporary art is its lack of any uniform structure or ideology or ism. Taking the concept that modernism had started, focusing the art on the individual and their views of the world and expressions, and expanding upon it. Contemporary art is a diverse period that spans paintings and poems, film, music, and performative works. Its subjects are all over the place and can range from critiques on society, religion, gender, race, roles, and exploring the depths of one's inner mind and personal faith, just to name a few. It took the question that Dada asked, "What is art?" and enthusiastically answered, "Everything is art." And sure, some of that art may come across strange or ugly or crude or even shockingly offensive. Oh, there's no follow-up. Sometimes people don't want to paint pretty pictures to tell happy stories, and that's totally fine, because art is a vehicle of versatility, capable of expressing the whole of the emotional spectrum and one's imagination and interests. In fact, funny enough, a lot of those weird performance pieces that you usually see posted on there have a message behind them. Messages that can be easy to pick up on if you stop to think about it, or if the artist explains it, which they usually do. But you wouldn't get any of that from these posts, as they're oftentimes taken out of context, clipping selective pieces of the work just to point and say, "This is modern art." It's like going to a concert and only sticking around for the warm-up session for it and then saying, "This is music." Or watching a movie for half a minute at a random point in it and then saying, "This is cinema." Is basically judging the whole of something off of one small bit out of context. As we said earlier, this type of critique and responses to art actually predates social media and has been used in the past to censor it in an attempt to return to a time where the establishment controlled everything. And it would be easy for me to point to things like the degenerate art exhibit the Nazis put together as an example, where they displayed 650 works of art which were confiscated from German museums and put on display alongside insulting graffiti, completely ignoring all the details and information of what the actual paintings were about. Or how Frederick Werdum's book, The Seduction of the Innocent, whipped people up into a frenzy to the point where you had concerned citizens going around collecting comic books just to make bonfires with them. And yes, comic books are art, and we will get into that one of these days. Or the McCarthy hearings, where you had tons of creative talents that were blacklisted from working out of fear that they might be anti-American communists or communist sympathizers. Or the satanic panic in the 80s and 90s that went after everything from daycare centers to Dungeons and Dragons, heavy metal, Pokemon, Harry Potter, until J.K. Rowling turned out to be a TERF, and now they seem okay with that. Or even the crackdown on books in libraries and schools from queer authors and authors of color that is going on right now across this country. Again, there is no follow-up. Now, do I think all of these accounts are fascio establishment fanboy bootlickers looking to sow societal discord? No, of course not. He's serious. I think a lot of them are click farmers looking for engagement, and the easiest way to do that is by posting some shit out of context that your basic level person would think is weird, because their perception of art is usually like a poster on the wall or a painting in the bathroom, and not somebody in their underwear suspended up by a vacuum bag. I mean, where would you even put that? Put that in the kitchen? Bedroom? Maybe. But I'm also not blind to the fact that some of the people that post these contents and respond to these contents are in fact dog whistlers, and they're the ones that you usually see in all of these threads posting the weird conspiratorial shit like, "The government created modern art as a psyop." Which, no, they really didn't. But that train of thought usually is the normal talking point a lot of pro-establishment bootlickers have used throughout history to ban art, usually claiming it's foreign actors or the globalists the lead or the Jews and the queers out to destroy your cultural heritage or some shit. And there are plenty of real-world examples of actual historical moments where the establishment did control the art produced in their countries, including actively to this day. And none of those examples show an encouragement of questioning the powers that be. When a state controls the art, it's used as propaganda to keep people in line and indoctrinated to whatever bullshit they want them to believe in. So it would be absolutely foolish for a government to want to use subversive, anti-government, anti-establishment art as a means to control their population, as they would obviously do the opposite. And of course, there's the other conspiracy theory.
It's just a money laundering scheme for the wealthy elitists.
Which, if making a profit off the fruits of your labor in a society based around money is a scam, then boy, have I got some news for you. I'm of course talking from the perspective of the artist here and not a rich person, because I ain't rich. Why didn't you tell me my hair was falling back? But yes, shockingly enough, rich people do like to occasionally invest some of their money into material items that may or may not accumulate in value over time. And art is one of those things. I know it's a lot to process. You may want to sit down, bless your heart. They also like to decorate their little McMansions, and art is really great for decorating. Did you even think about that for half an attosecond? You absolute fucking donut. Art can be weird sometimes. Hell, there's plenty of art even I've seen that I don't get, and look at the stuff that I make. Etsy.com/shop/CandyDandyArt. Ha! Gotcha! As for the other comments, the ones that are like, my kid could paint this, or I could paint this. I'm just a middle-aged childless weirdo, so I ain't gonna tell you how to raise your kids. I wouldn't even want to if I could, but you. Oh, you. Why don't you? Go on, make something. Paint a thing. No, seriously, go on, do it. I don't mean fire up the AI system and type some prompts in or some bullshit like that. I mean actually pick up a paintbrush. Go ahead. Pick it up. Head on down to the store or your Amazons, get you some paints and some canvases, put on some music and get into that artistic groove. Slap some paints around and see what milks your cookies. What's stopping you? You don't have the time? I work 2 very labor-intensive jobs, and I still have time to squeeze in for making art. You got responsibilities? Well, don't we all? Can't draw a straight line? Then draw a crooked one. Who cares? Nobody's perfect. And the moment that you let go of striving for perfection right out the gate is the moment that you start having fun. Paint something, sculpt something, film something, pluck some strings, write some weird little poem, and don't forget the glitter. How damn I love glitter. It's so sparkly and shiny. You know, sometimes I just want to chop it up into little lines and snort. Woo. Anyways, where was I? Oh, that's right. Why don't you make some art? Go on, give it a try. Have some fun. It may even change your perspective on the amount of work that actually goes into some of the art that you're easily critiquing. You never know. Anyways, if you like this video, you know the deal. And if you want to check out some of our art, go ahead and head on over to our Etsy shop. Etsy.com/shop/CandyDandyArt. I really ain't got much else to say about this on this video. This is kind of rushed together. I'm trying to make more videos more often. I'm not really going to be doing them every other week or some shit like that, because I just got way too much shit going on in my life to be making time to do a video right away. Although we will do them when we can. I just work a lot. But we're going to try at least 1 or 2 a month if we can. Fingers crossed. Don't take my word for it. If you like these videos and you want to stick around, we appreciate it. If you don't, I get it too. Well, this has been Candy Dandy. Thank you for your time. And I hope you have a good one. Oh, honey, get you a sip of this, baby. Go on, get you some. Don't fuck it up. There we are.
My child could paint that.
Half of my face is red and I have a red light on it, so this is really entertaining. It's also a great way of covering up your fuck ups. We're gonna need our other pen. We're all doomed, as we would be here all day long. Gaji very bimba. Usually before the modern art. Fuck you. Modern art is a modern art. A lot of priests. A lot of fuck me. Fuck me. Our art. Our art. I sound like a fucking seal. I'm gonna do an Alex Jones voice. It's gonna be loud. I apologize to people in other places. Okay.
The Jews and the quiz.
But you wouldn't get any of that. But I'll take a sip of my vanity project. Sip it on the liquid. It's like rain. God, I pop the fuck out of this shit. It has dawned on me that I cannot say the word contemporary. Just like I can't say the word strawberry. But I know how it tastes though. Liquid cannibalism. People don't want to pray. Fuck me. Pick up a paintbrush. Go on. Pick it up. Slap some paints around and see what milks your cookies. Etsy.com/shop/candydandy. And I guess that'll wrap it up. Oh, there's no follow-up.